This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. I'm doing a series of spotlights on remarkable business intermediaries from across the country. And joining me on this segment is a man of many distinctions. His name is Ben Hargis. He's the owner of Mach 10, and he also has a business brokerage based out of LA. Ben, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Ben, tell us a little bit about your work. I know you do a lot of stuff there. And specifically, who are the types of folks that you help?
Well, for business brokerage aspects of it, I help find buyers and sellers, and I put the two together. So as a business intermediary, just helping facilitate the deal. So making sure that owners have an advocate on their side and helping a buyer make a potential purchase that's going to be right for them.
Is there a specific industry or type of business that you specialize in working with?
No, all types of businesses. So there's people we bring in to help facilitate, the specifics of a deal, if it's a restaurant or an advertising agency or a manufacturing company. But for the most part, the biggest thing for us to help facilitate a deal is that it makes money. So if it's making a lot of money, it's been off cash flow, then it's a win-win for the buyer and the seller.
Folks that are considering selling their businesses now, is this oftentimes the first time they're having this experience, so they're not quite sure what the process is like? How informed are your sellers?
I would say 90% need a lot of help in structuring the deal. So they've maybe thought about handing off the business to their kids, then their kids decide they don't really want to be in the business. A lot of business owners think their business is worth a certain amount, and then they go to try to sell it themselves, and then they find out the harsh reality that it's not anywhere near the dollar amount. And then they search for us, try to get a business valuation to figure out what it's worth, and then go from there to help us, find a buyer for them, because it's they're trying to run their business. Their time is very valuable, and it's a very niche skill set that takes years to kind of hone down on how to find a buyer, how to find someone that's going to help facilitate the deal. And they're just busy running their business. So it's a lot to take on for a lot of the business owners, and it's just outside their realm of comfort level.
And as I'm learning throughout this series, it's not like selling a house or a property. There's a lot more that goes into it. So tell me a little bit more about sort of the myths or misconceptions that people have about selling a business, and why are they misinformed in a lot of ways?
Yeah, that's a great question. There is a lot of misconception out there. It's not like a house. You can't put a for sale sign on the front door and just let everybody come by and take a look at it. It's not how it works. It's a lot of confidentiality agreements. You can't just blast it out there to everybody and have it have buyers come out from the woodwork. Attorneys, all the employees, the confidentiality of different agreements, and kind of the secret sauce on why that business is making so much money. You want to keep that under wraps. It's not for everybody to know. And the business owner that comes in that wants to buy that's part of the value, is kind of keeping that secret sauce to themselves, that proprietary secret. And the necessary steps that they've taken to make the business what it is really kind of a confidential matter. So the vendors don't want to know that they're going to potentially be handing the business off to a new owner. The employees, management might get a little cold feet coming into work, knowing that the owner is going to be retiring and a new person is going to be coming in to take over the business. So it might be a great step, it might be a horrible step, but either way, you want to keep it under wraps until the deal is solidified, and then you can kind of share it with everybody that needs to know on a need to know basis. So that's kind of where it falls in line.
You mentioned that a lot of new sellers come in with unreasonably inflated, valuations or sale prices. What causes that, and why do people not get the right estimate of the value of their business?
Well, I think part of it is emotion. Everybody thinks that they have worked really hard so that it should be worth, $1 million or $2 million of, sale price. In reality, it comes down to the balance sheet, looking at the financials, having a CPA or a business valuation expert come in and value the business, not based on emotion, not based on the potential of the business. Because if there was potential of the business, they would have taken advantage of that already. So a lot of the business owners feel like, well, you could do X, Y, and Z, and then this business will be worth 5 million. and the owner, the new sub buyer comes in and says, well, if it's such a great deal, why did you not take advantage of that? So I'm not going to pay you for it because you didn't actually jump through the hoops to make it worth that. So now I'm going to have to do that as a buyer. And so I'm not going to pay you to do that. So that's kind of, I think the emotion of it is the biggest reason for the inflated price.
In the news, we've been hearing a lot about the great resignation and people wanting to leave their corporate jobs and go off on their own. And of course, buying an existing business is a smarter way to go about that. What have you found in your area? How has this great resignation, has it created more buyers in the market, and has it motivated sellers? What have you seen?
Well, there's definitely different levels to that. We got the baby boom generation. We got a lot of demographics, especially in Southern California, but in across the country as well. You got a lot of people at that retirement age, and you got a lot of people that have worked really hard for several years. In the economy in the last several years has been really good. So people and the home prices have inflated around the country to give people kind of that comfort and that sense of wealth effect. So people feel like right now is probably a great time to be selling their business. Things have gone well, prices are high, they're ready to quit because they've been working long hours and putting in the last 10 or 12 years of good economic times, and they want to take advantage of it. So between the demographics of people retiring, a lot of business owners that are successful started a little bit later in life, that they're using that, that leverage of experience and knowledge over their life to kind of start the business. And then it takes a couple of years to get that going. Now they're ready to kind of go off into the sunset and retire and take a step back and enjoy life a little bit. So I would say that's kind of the main driver behind most of it.
Ben, what inspired you to become a business intermediary and get into this field? How did you get started?
Good question. I like real estate a lot. I feel like a lot of people are in that space, and I just want to differentiate myself. I like business. I like helping people. I'm an entrepreneurial spirit at heart. So I appreciate people that have taken risks and been rewarded by their taking the risk. And I understand where they've come from. It's a tough thing to start a business, run it, do it well, and then exit with the most amount of money in their pocket so they can enjoy the fruits of their labor. Sometimes the home selling and there's a lot of emotion around that. Sometimes people are working in and out of the different stages of their life. It just seemed like business brokerage was a much more pleasing, rewarding career for myself.
I appreciate that. Ben, before I ask you my last question, is there anything that I didn't think to ask you in regards to buying or selling a business today that you feel is important to share?
Yeah, I think the cost of money right now is phenomenally advantageous to purchasing a business. If you just go out and you start a business from scratch, it takes years and years to build it up, get that cash flow going. But if you buy a business using low interest rate money, banks are just flush with cash right now. And I don't think a whole lot of people are taking advantage of low interest rates and inflation. It just benefits you to borrow the money now, because in the future, the value of money is going to be less. That's by technical definition is what inflation is. So if you borrow that money now, use it to your advantage on a cash flow business today, that money will be paid back with less valuable dollars later. It's just easy. It's an advantageous situation that I don't think a whole lot of people are taking advantage of, is the easy money.
Ben, for folks listening in areas that you can serve that would like to speak with you if they're considering selling or buying a business, how can they find you, connect with you, and learn more?
Yeah, Ben at CaliforniaBusinessBrokers.com. California Business Brokers is based in Orange County, California. So anywhere in the LA area is our niche service area. So if it's making money and you want a reputable service to represent you, love to help out.
And what was that website again?
It's CaliforniaBusinessBrokers.com, or my email is ben@CaliforniaBusinessBrokers.com.
Ben, this has been terrific. I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing with my audience today, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the time.
That was Ben Hargis with California Business Brokers, and this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.